clearing close in the forest you'll find a fabulous banquet, a fairy ball. If you close your eyes and you open your mind, the veil disappears and you'll see it all.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and today I am finally bringing you guys a story that has literally been requested since the day, well not the day I started my channel, but the day I started doing paranormal videos and paranormal personal experiences on my channel. You guys are always asking me if I've ever encountered an evil or negative or dark spirit, and if so, when. And you also always ask me what my scariest paranormal experience in my childhood was. But the main reason that I never told this story was because I really do try, despite how dark my content can get sometimes, to bring nothing but light, love, positivity to this channel, and to constantly be proving and showing that light is always stronger than any form of darkness. However, after much consideration, I've come to realize that the end of this story really does have like a happy ending, so to speak, and I did learn how to overcome this dark negative spirit and to put myself into a continuous white light. So I figured, even though it's really, really spooky, it was terrifying at the time, and it's probably gonna make me sound insane, I would share it with you guys in hopes that if any of you are going through or will go through anything dark or negative in your lifetime, that you will learn how to protect yourself with the white light and to pull through it. Now today's video is actually a virtual collab with my friend here on YouTube, Andrew TMI. I met Andrew through Loey actually. Loey and Andrew have been really great friends for quite some time now, and when I became best friends with Loey, I naturally met Andrew through her, and he is just absolutely awesome. He is unapologetically himself, he's outspoken in the best way possible, and he has some really, really great stories here on his channel. But today we have teamed up because Andrew and his mom are telling a really, really spooky story about the time his mom was attacked by a ghost. I have the link to that at the top of my description. So if you finish this video and you are looking for something spooky to watch or something else to watch, I would highly recommend clicking on over there, say hi to Andrew, say that Hailey sent you, and then stick around because his content is pretty cool and he's got some pretty insane stories. I also just want to very briefly say thank you so much to Andrew for waiting for this collaboration. We were supposed to do this like within this past week, and you guys know I've been in LA, I've been doing so many crazy things, and I was unable to upload any sooner than today, and he was so sweet and so patient about it. So thank you so much, Andrew. And today, you guys, we are bringing you some spooky content. So without further ado, let's get into this. So I've told you guys in the past that for the most part, I really only attract, positive energy, and I really try to stay on like a positive vibration. Keeping yourself in a positive mindset, on a positive vibration, keeps a lot or almost every evil or negative or dark spirit away because they don't like a high vibration. Anything that's evil, that's sad, that's lost, that's dark, typically vibrates on a very low vibration. So when you're vibrating up here, they'll tend to go and find the people vibrating on a lower vibration. Now, when I was 15 or 16, I definitely have to say I was at my lowest vibration probably throughout my whole life, and I was in a really, really dark, negative headspace. If you guys watched my I Tried to End My Life video, I was going through extreme bullying, I was going through social anxiety, depression, and I was really just at this point where I felt I was worthless, I felt my life was meaningless, and I didn't feel like I could carry on. Now, the unfortunate thing about being somebody who's very receptive to the paranormal and spiritual world, and being in this type of vibration and being in this type of mindset, is that ultimately I brought on one of the most terrifying entities I've ever encountered in my entire life. Now, whether or not this thing was attracted to me because I was vibrating low, or whether or not it was just something that I'd always hoped I would fall to this vibration, I don't know. But all I know is that I started to experience some pretty terrifying things. So I remember I had got a kitten because I really, really wanted some sort of support, and my mom wouldn't let me get a dog at the time. So I got a kitten, and turns out I was extremely allergic to my kitten. Whenever she would crawl up in my neck as we slept, which is so cute and so sweet, I would get so stuffed up, and as you guys know, I have bad lungs. I would be completely unable to breathe. So at night we had a really big bathroom. I would put her litter box in there. I would put everything she needed to be safe, cozy, a bed, all of that. And I would just like put her in there during the night in order to prevent me from ultimately going into an extreme asthma attack. Now, for like weeks leading up to this story could be so long if I told you guys everything that was happening, but for weeks leading up to this, I was not sleeping well whatsoever. I was having these really, really dark dreams, and everything was just like really, really negative during the night. Like it was like as if when the sun went down and I was there alone in my bedroom, like I could just sense something around me that was so dark. Now, as you guys know, this was around the time that I had gotten like my start in the music industry, and the whole reason I was bullied was because people in my community at my high school didn't like what I was doing and really, really bullied me for it, which will come back around in a moment. But all of these things kept happening for weeks leading up to this night that I'm about to tell you about, and I could just sense something there. And the darkest part of all was that I was in this really dark mindset of not wanting to be here, and I felt like there was just this something around me that was like encouraging that was like encouraging me to either do the unthinkable or encouraging me to like be at this really low state. So this one night I am laying in my bed, and I remember I was awoke by this figure standing next to my bed that was kind of like, if you guys have ever seen The Ring and that like creepy thing that comes out of the TV and like the well and stuff, it looked like that. Like it was like a childlike figure with extremely dark black hair. I could hardly see its face, in this white little dress. Like everything that a horror film would like put out for you to see was what I was seeing in front of me. Now, on a quick side note, anything evil can take the form of your biggest fear. So if you're terrified of a clown, it could take the form of a clown. If you're terrified of a skeleton-like figure, it could take the form of that. One of my biggest fears, and especially in horror films and just in general, is like a child-like, scary-looking entity. Like to me, that is so scary. So it's standing there on the ledge of my bed, and it's just staring at me. And I'm terrified, so I jump out of bed as it shifts around my bed to go out the door, and I look back and I see myself sleeping. So it's as though my soul is now in another dimension. Now, we've talked about out-of-body experiences and astral projection. I told you guys that I've done this. This was my first and only negative experience like this. So I look down and I can see myself sleeping. And so I follow this thing for some reason, because I'm that girl in the horror film. I follow this thing out of my room, and I notice that my kitten is right there, but the door is shut. So I open up the bathroom door and I can see my kitten sleeping. So now I realize that I'm in some sort of dimension. I'm like out of my body. My soul, my spirit, my kitten's soul and spirit is being like attacked by this thing. So this thing travels down the stairs, and it's like so scary, and all I'm thinking is I want to get out of this house. I want to get out of this house. So I get to the top of the stairs, and this thing in the creepiest voice that I'm not even going to try to recreate says something along the lines of like, join us and like every problem you have will go away. Like we'll give you everything. And I remember saying, I will never join you. And I went to run out my front door, and right then and there, I woke up within my own body like, and I can hear my cat, who normally was like silent throughout the night, so good, screaming in the bathroom, screaming. So I go and I get my kitten, and I'm like, I don't care if my nose falls off from how stuffy it's gonna get, you're coming and laying with me. And I just remember thinking like that was the closest thing I've ever felt to pure evil. And I was trying to analyze like, what did they mean, or it mean, like join us and like all of your problems will go away. And that's kind of where I think it reflects back to the fact that like I was devastated over like my music career. It wasn't necessarily a career whatsoever at that time. It was like the start of everything. But I don't know. It was just, I still think about that, and I still try to analyze like, what on earth did it mean by that? Now, I didn't get out of my negative headspace after this, which I probably should have, realizing what just happened, and I never like astral projected or out of body experienced like that ever again, knock on wood. Like that was like the one time, and I never saw that figure ever again. But for like weeks after this, I would like wake up in like a half dream, like half like mentally awake state, and I would see like spiders in the bed, and I would see like things like that, like rats and spiders, and I would really think they were there, and I would try to convince like my mom and people that these things were there, and like they weren't there. And it wasn't until I actually went to our family friend, the one who said that an angel saved my sister, and asked like, what do I do? Like, I think I'm being haunted. She said that I needed to get out of this headspace I was at. I needed to start trusting my personal faith, and I needed to protect myself with a white light. So each and every day I started to try to bless the corners of my room, bless the corners of my house. So I would lay in bed and I would literally mentally picture myself laying there, and I would picture this beautiful white light going around me. And as I see this white light going around me, I'm continuously telling myself like, this white light is going to protect me from anything evil, anything with bad intentions. Only things of light and love are allowed within my space. And then I would gradually grow it to my bedroom. So now I'm surrounded, now my bedroom is surrounded. And slowly but surely I would surround it to my entire home. And then I would mentally say this prayer that throughout life this white light continue to protect me. And I kid you guys not, like that was when I stopped seeing a lot of like these evil things. Like that was when I really like got into the mindset of like everything positive, because my whole childhood primarily had been, besides this one ghost that used to scare me in my house from the basement, it had really primarily been pretty positive experiences. And then I get into this really dark headspace, and suddenly like this thing just like came for that, like came for the weak. It really did come for the weakness in me. And it was just trying to catch me at my lowest, because when you're at your lowest, your faith is at its lowest too. Your just entire sense of strength spiritually is just gone, and it's easy for them to prey on that. So I continued to just like protect myself continuously and to pray to what I believed in. And you don't even necessarily, as somebody watching this, have to pray if that's not your thing, but just really like mentally know that you have a power within you to keep anything out of your reality and out of your space that you don't want there. Things like that will try to make you believe that you have no power over them, that you're weak, that you can't tell them get out. But ultimately you truly can. You are such a spiritual being. You are a spiritual being having an earthly experience. You are so powerful, you are so strong. And in that moment of weakness for me where I had that experience, I didn't feel like I was. But when I started to realize that this white light I was projecting around myself, this white light I was projecting into my space, was truly protecting me and was truly keeping these things away, my whole reality, my whole world just shifted on a dime, and everything for me just changed. I can still, to this day, see that thing on the edge of my bed. I can still hear the voice that came out of it, and I can still sense like the spiders and things that I would see. Like, it's still very fresh in my memory, and that was like years ago now. Years ago. I'm gonna be 22 this month, and that was like when I was 15. But I can still see and sense how everything just shifted the minute that I understood my personal power within me, that I started to protect myself, that I just changed my way of thinking, and I just really realized, look, there's good in the world. There's so much good in the world, but there's also bad in the world. There's also evil. And everything day to day, be it spiritual or physical, is a constant battle between good and evil. You know, that's one thing like from the movies that is the truth. You don't have to be a superhero and a villain, but we're constantly battling this balance between good and evil. And I learned that. I learned that there is a good, there is an evil. But I also learned that the minute that you get a grasp on the good, the evil just disappears, because nothing stands a chance against light and love and goodness. Nothing stands a chance against a good person. Now I'm getting a new tattoo, and I'm going to share it with you guys ahead of time because it's my absolute favorite Bible verse in the whole entire world. And if you're not religious, just take it for what it is. Don't necessarily think of it as a Bible verse. But this is what I'm going to conclude on. It is my absolute favorite Bible verse, and it is Romans 12:21. And it is, do not be overcome by evil. Overcome evil by doing good. And if there's one thing in life you can live by with your encounters with people or your encounters with the spiritual world, is that. Do not be overcome by any form of evil, negativity, or darkness. Overcome that evil by doing good, by doing all things with kindness, by spreading light and love and being that light bearer. Well, you guys, that is it for today's video. I know it was spooky, but I also hope that it has a happy ending in your mind as well as it does in mine. I think that we all experience things to teach us and to teach our souls just how strong we really are. I think that we all have this magical ability inside of us, but we don't all tap into it. So I encourage you watching this right now to tap into that, to take control of your own life. Whatever it may be going on in your life that you're having difficulty with, even if it's not spiritual, choose light. Choose to take control. You have such a power within you, and I really hope that you choose to use it. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my content, I would absolutely love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button. And while we're on the note of enjoying my content, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up because that makes my heart super happy and I really super appreciate it, and I love it when you guys do that. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you.